Hey everybody, Josh RV Nerd here at Haywood RV of Coldwater, Michigan today with the, if we're going to call a spade, a duck, 8,500 pound Wildwood 32BHDS. The updates here in the 22 season are easy to miss, but it is a nice collection of like daily use fun features that really goes hand in hand with the great package they'd already put together on one of these. So if you're not familiar with this floor plan, it's perhaps one of the most flexible and convertible two-slide bunkhouses I've ever seen. A nice private bunkhouse in the back is awesome on a rainy day when the kids are all jacked up on marshmallow and Mountain Dews and they're going crazy inside this thing. Well, you can basically just look at it and be like, kids, go to your room. Mom and Dad need to have a drink. We're going to put some extra Baileys in our coffee today. We're not ready for this yet. And they've got their own private space. They can bop around back there. And what's cool about that is this can very easily function as a true two-bedroom kind of mother-in-law suite, and I don't mean that in a derogatory term. The VersaBunk system that they have in this converts from a sofa to like a big bed space, or it could be completely removed. If you're looking for an office conversion, this is a prime candidate right here. Well, I mean, frankly, it can open up so much in the back of this thing. You could basically have your own private yoga studio. But then the living room super slide basically does the same thing with the VersaLounge. You got the VersaBunk, you got the VersaLounge. It's quite versatile. That thing can be like an L lounge facing the entertainment center. It can be a traditional sofa and big U dinette. It can be a full super slide mega sleeper, which, name another trailer that can do that. I'll wait. Unless you modify it, there really aren't a whole lot of other options that can do that. And the storage in this is way better than what you would think. I'm going to go through it though. There's a couple things that I'm not personally super keen on, and I'm going to point those out. Like, it does have a Camp Queen. It does lack windows in the doors, which those two things are kind of factors for me. If they're deal breakers, that's why I want to talk about these. That's why I want to get them out of the way, and that's the kind of straightforward information you got to get as we go through here, and who knows, maybe I'll say something stupid and have a little fun along the way. Now, we're actually starting with at least the majority of the lights off today, not because I'm trying to set some kind of mood. Like, my wife and I have this system. I can dim the lights and I can give her a special look, and she says, no. And it works every time. It's incredible how well it works. Now, up here, one of the first things I like about this is they are not using the disco Labatt blue light accent lighting above the slide here. It's just a common bright white light, but it's indirect. It's kind of hidden. Like, you never see it. Well, indirect. Indirect means not directly. I'm an idiot. Ignore me. Moving on. You get the idea. It just brightens everything up, but it also doesn't tend to blind anyone if you're using it as a night light. Similar to that, our main cabin lighting here. Notice how that didn't really flare up too darn brightly? Well, that's because for the 22s, they have installed dimmer lighting on your main cabins. And I am personally of the belief the more dimmer lighting we have, the better off we're going to be. I have it all over my house. I use it like crazy. The switches for that are all right by the entry door, by the way. Now, man, there's a lot to talk about on these. The VersaLounge. Let's start diving into this crazy thing over here. So as we watch this video, you're actually going to see this thing change a little bit. It's like a transformer, and there's a little more than meets the eye on this thing. That bench back that's facing us right now, creating this giant L lounge, is flippable, basically. You can convert this from a huge lounge into a giant U dinette and a common sofa. So if you don't like it like this, you can always make it a U dinette. You'll get to see that in a minute. But what's also kind of cool over here is during the day, if you're hanging out on the sofa, you still have a little spot there where, maybe as the kids need a peanut butter and jelly sandwich or something like that, or they're, working on a board game or coloring book, there's still a space there that they can still operate, which is cool. Now, it doesn't bother me, but maybe it's because I'm used to seeing it all the time. But these giant windows here are just pure panoramic viewing. They don't open for airflow, but your slide side windows do open for airflow. So they kind of did the opposite. Like, there's some brands that'll make the big windows open for air, but not the sides. There's obviously some that will do both. They found a thing that works for them here. It seems to be pretty popular. I get that it doesn't work for everybody, but those are the kind of extra little details I'm going to point out. Like the fact that this has a 6.5 foot tall ceiling, central air, central heat. I'm not going to call this a Four Seasons camper, though. This is going to be more of a 3, maybe a light extended 3. But that being said, this does have a heated, enclosed accessibility. All of the water lines in this are actually contained within the floor. So there's no exposed water lines under, even if you took out the enclosed heated belly. What that means, though, is it's going to have to get below freezing and frankly stay there pretty hard before anything like that ever becomes an issue. The air conditioner also is a Coleman variety, which tends to run a little bit quieter as compared to some of the other guys out there. We will come back to the kitchen in full detail, but while I'm looking at it, I don't want to forget to talk about that nice backsplash right there. I do wish there was a side splash beside the stove, but frankly, it seems like virtually nobody does that, so I guess in that regard, it's hard to ding them for something like that when, like, nobody else seems to have done it either. I don't usually get twisted all the way around the kitchen like this here. Tell you what, let's start cracking it open as long as we're looking at it. So first of all, below the entertainment center here, you've got a little mini pantry-tainment storage. What would you use this for? And maybe before you answer that, take a second to kind of finish watching the rest of this here. This is another new for 22 thing. Again, it seems like a small thing, but the little accent light down there, below the fireplace that they added, that giant wide open shoe garage space, which I love the fact it's so large. You can really stuff a lot of shoes in there, and this is a camper that can hold a lot of bodies. Again, at night, it gives you a nice little, oh, hey, welcome back light. Helps you find your bearings, you know. Electric space heat and fireplace on these, standard. And the Bluetooth soundbar right here also has an HDMI input on the face of it. I believe there's also one on the back, so if you want to run a cable up through that to the TV, should you choose to add one, you can. Now, as long as we're looking at the TV, normally I save this for a little bit later, but again, we're kind of doing it live today. When you are sitting with your back over here on the VersaLounge, or when you're sitting at the dinette facing, toward the TV, it's not bad. At a glance on this floor plan, when you look at it, you say, oh, dude, it's got that neck-wrecker entertainment center. And, yeah, kind of. But it's not quite as bad as I think it reads on paper, if that makes any sense. Then again, the answer to that probably depends on exactly how you're using the VersaLounge, if you're using it at all. And a place for a wastebasket. Thank you. Again, it's the little things that make such a big difference. A place for a wastebasket in a camper for me is like having a partner in marriage who, squeezes toothpaste from the correct end of the tube. Although that became kind of a non-issue and we started using different types of toothpaste. But you get the point, right? It's the little things that make the big differences over time. Now, all of the big 12-volt fridge revolution that took place is not exclusively due to Wildwood, but they were the first high-volume mainstream manufacturer to standardize those 10-plus cubic foot 12-volt compressor fridges. That became a very, very common thing, not just in this class, but in a ton of different classifications of RVs. Now, in the hallway here, we have a huge chunk of storage, but the closet section isn't exactly easy to see. That is, of course, on camera. When you're actually here in person, you can just walk around the doors, and right now I'm standing in the bathroom, and you can see. Now, what's nice about this is right next to the bunk room, so this allows for some serious hanging storage space in the bunks that not a lot of floor plans offer. This could be dresser space right here for the kids. You got, your socks and undies kind of drawers or some folded shirts or something like that. And if you don't need all the hanging storage, this is just begging for stacking up totes or a little shelf organizer job in here. But we're still not done with the storage, because we still have 20.3 cubic foot of food safe storage all bundled up here in the VersaLounge. There are 5 of these totes that you could take out. They can stack up. But I tell you what's also really kind of handy for these. You can kind of use each one of them as an individual sort of storage tote for maybe one of the kids, depending on how many you have. You have some overflow storage. They can obviously be some, snack time kind of stuff in there. And have you noticed how we have this converted back into traditional full-on U-dinette mode, which, by the way, look at this, has storage below that rear bench, which I think is really cool how that's wide open. I actually like to always curl my legs under me, especially in a dinette like that when you're fighting for foot space. That to me is, I think, really darn handy. So if you don't care about the whole L lounge thing, don't use it. This can only do whatever you want to. Speaking of which, how about the fact that once again, this can convert into one giant full super slide super sleeper. And when we haven't even seen all the sleeping in the bunk room yet. And have you noticed also, we have those blackout roller shades. You'll find those, whether it's here in the bunk room, even up in the bedroom, they're very consistent. They don't use them only in the living room. That's a key detail that not every brand seems to catch. Now, technically, we've already visited the bathroom, but you didn't get to see it because it was my butt in there and, you know, not the camera. Over here, one thing I like to do is show you how much room is around the toilet. That means that I've turned into a toilet selfie king, but at a glance, it looks like maybe it's a little tight for lefties, but in actual kind of like moving my arm around practice, I found that there was plenty of space there. And this is that cool little slat thing right there. Perfect little place to keep some, you know, rolls of toilet paper and whatnot. The butt napkins, as it were. It's just got a cool look, a cool aesthetic to it. And that's something that they basically had been doing in their Lodge series, the destination kind of like park model Wildwoods that, you know, we also carry here. Now notice the shower here. It's a rectangular shower, which is nice, but they still give us that arched beam up top to give us plenty of elbow room. And one of the other really nice things here is this has some excellent headroom space with this having that taller 6'9" ceiling. I'm about 6'3" for reference, standing there with shoes and a hat. You saw my footprints in the shower, but you won't see those when you take it home because we clean the camper. Now, I'm going to mention a couple times in this video, no window in the entry door, but that in the bathroom doesn't bother me because I think a lot of manufacturers really screw up and you lose your privacy here and you don't have to worry about that. Now, speaking of privacy, if I sit on the toilet, which is where we're at right now, you can reach over and deadbolt that door so you don't got to worry about somebody coming in and having an awkward moment. Now, at the same token, if you really felt like it, you could just sit here doing your business, chatting with the neighbors, but I wouldn't recommend that. Not if you want to stay at that campground. Now, as we move over here into the bunk room, one of the things that's really cool about this is just like the living room, you just have a light switch. The main cabin lights, if you need to turn them off, be like, all right, lights out, kids, you can do that. They got a bit of a big kid bunk up here where this bunk is a little bit wider because this actually resides over the camp kitchen. And it is one of the things, the way that they handled this with the VersaBunk, because right now we have it in sofa mode, you're straight across from effectively an entertainment center. Or you could bring a little floating table in here and have a little kind of entertainment space for the littles, as it were. But taking a look at this here, you can see, remember there's that huge closet in the hallway for storage space. But you do have a little extra chunk of built-in storage in here. So it's not like all just in the hallway. And the ladder there means you don't have to throw the kids into the upper bed. Now, you saw the USB plugs for that upper bed. Down here at more ground level, they're located over here on the wall, which I would prefer the USB plug at least to be a little bit closer to the slide, but at the same time getting like a USB extension cord for charging, not that big of a deal. Now, this is the VersaBunk situation that I was sitting on over here, and I can't really get you a great full-on look at this because they do use a swinging privacy door because there is no room for a slider door back here. Just kind of one of those things. Now, new for 22, any flip-up bunk in these Wildwoods, they actually have a little chalkboard on the bottom of them, and that was really heavily inspired by the number of mobile homeschool type people where that lifestyle was adopted. Now, as you can imagine, down here, this does fold down into, a bunk plus. That opens up into a camp queen. This is a true 2-bedroom. But you notice, too, how nothing is, like, bolted to the slide floor. If there was ever a floor plan that was begging for an office conversion, this would be it right here so that serious business people could do some serious business like this. Yes, hello. I would like 1 stocks, please. Payment? Well, I mean, I don't have monies, but I am a level 44 Pokemon trainer. Hello? Hello? Rude. I tell you, some people just,
They have no manners, no business acumen anymore. It's a lost art. Ha. By the way, this floor plan is available in 50 amp service with a second air conditioner. If I'm not mistaken, on this floor plan, that vent right there would actually be changed into a second air. But, oh, here's an idea now that I'm looking at this. In its current format, that's just a vent, but you have power off of this light right here. It would be a little bit of nothing to piggyback the 6 inches over here to get power to this vent. If you wanted to at least upgrade this to a powered vent fan for back here, you could absolutely do that. Because remember, all of the windows that you've seen in this bunk room, they all open for airflow. That's another thing Wildwood does really well here that is easily missed, that not every brand quite nails. And with the underlighting that's coming in from this window, I look like I'm about to tell a little bit of a scary story. Let me tell you about the time my Uncle Gary went to Walmart. Actually, let's not. I'm not sure you're ready for that. Now, I think we've pretty much crushed the living room at this point. I turned off the accent light. When did I do that? Like a dummy. Anyway, I don't know if I mentioned it, but every countertop that you're seeing in this is a sealed edge pressed membrane. And one of the shortfalls of this floor plan, again, being fair, is it is painfully lacking on door side windows. If that's a really big concern for you, this might not be the right one. But if you're like, I don't know, I spend more of my time outside anyway, that doesn't bother me. Well, this might work for you. And it is nice, though, that, again, we have privacy. We have private rear bunks, and we have that full-on privacy door for the front bedroom. So if we pass through that door, over here in the bedroom, you see that entertainment wall is an entertainment wall in the bedroom as well. You got some TV hookups there. And just like every other room in the RV, you've got just a single light switch on the wall for all of our main cabin lights. Now, I'm intentionally taking some time before I turn those back on. If I have some photosensitive viewers, I don't want to trigger a seizure in somebody or something like that, or cause you to have a headache. But once again, remember, those blackout shades that we saw in the living room? They do those through the whole RV. Not everybody does stuff like that. Now, we're in a full Wildwood, not the little brother X-Lite. That's why it's a little taller in here, and they also add that extra full cabinet above the bed, not just a shelf. No matter what, though, all of these stick and tin Wildwoods, they all have a Camp Queen bed, but one of the things that's interesting to me here is they leave tons of room at the foot of it. If you wanted to exchange that mattress for a true queen, it would not be hard to do so. And that brings us over here to another of the new for 22 updates, the handy little laundry hamper built right in there. And we'll see that on the backside when we get into the underbelly. Those handy little storage totes right there in the lift-up area of the bed, another one of those really useful features and functions. And then we get over here to one of the other things I really like on Wildwoods, and that is their CPAP storage cabinet up here in the bedroom. So it's a full-length hanging wardrobe. You're not like gonna see your clothes hanging down through that little viewing window, but what it does is, like, if you're a little bit claustrophobic, I think it's really nice because you don't feel like you're quite so trapped in this thing. And again, it is kind of made initially with the intention of CPAP users, where you have the household outlets inside the wardrobe, which is uncommon. It's almost interesting to me the USB plugs stay outside of it. I think I'd almost use that for phone storage at night as well. So like if I have friends that absolutely have no respect for the fact that I'm not the online World of Warcraft gamer I used to be, and I'm not staying up till 2:30 in the morning every night, but they still do, and they like to text me all night, so I have to activate the Do Not Disturb function on my phone. But, you know, that would be handy for me so that my phone's not flashing the whole time. What else would you use that little pocket storage space there for? And I don't really care who makes it. This floor plan always seems to be rather limited in some way, shape, or form on travel accessibility with the slides closed, like we're obviously looking at right now. Now, one of the cool things about the VersaLounge is you can basically just sneak right around it. So if you need to get over here to the refrigerator, the pantry, we are, snack-tastic capable for travel stops. But when we start getting back here to this hallway area, it starts getting a little tight. And maybe, you know, if your life depended on it, you could kind of walk over that a little bit to get back to the bathroom. But the good news is you ain't got to do that. Because remember, we always have that direct entry door to the bathroom here. And one of the benefits here of having mismatched steps on this, which will become a little more obvious when we start doing more of our outside stuff here, is these traditional fold-out steps, they don't really take up a lot of space when you're opening them, so they're always pretty easy to get in here. So I was kind of wondering, Could I stuff myself up into that corner and then close the door and kind of peek around to the bunk room even though the slide's closed and there's nothing to really see there? And the short answer to me was no. I'm just a little too thick around the midsection with my pandemic poundage dad bod, and I wasn't able to do it. Maybe if you're a little skinny mini, you can. And that's the extra kind of detail we like to offer here at Haylett RV. Are you a pandemic pounder or are you a skinny mini?
Now, real quick, before we get too far along, let's talk towing, because you look at the weight of this, and there's inevitably going to be someone says, well, my half ton's rated for 10,000 pounds. Can I pull it? Well, kinda, yeah. But something you gotta remember is this is a long trailer, and you need to remember to check the hitch weight on this compared to the payload rating of your pickup. And that's one of those, we're gonna put safety before the sale conversations that you'll end up having every time you call our team here. Before money changes hands, we are investigating tow vehicles. And the thing is, this is a long trailer. Get it? Anybody catch the reference there? I didn't do it on purpose, but I'll take it. A longer trailer will more easily push around a shorter tow vehicle. Well, almost every half ton that I've seen for the last many years now is a short bed. The shorter the wheelbase on your vehicle, the tighter your turning radius. But the problem is, the tighter your turning radius, the more easy it is for a trailer to cause sway when you're towing. So kind of a couple things to keep in mind. The power tongue jack standard is nice. A lot of brands have gone to that. I don't want to spend too much time talking about that. But I love the little plug buddy guy. Now, I've asked people before. I have yet to find somebody produce me a link for that exact part. I found a lot of people who come up with something very similar, which actually attaches to the tongue of the hitch right there, but never one exactly like that. I really love that thing. I'm just surprised it's so hard to find, apparently. I don't know. I don't think it's proprietary. I only do tend to see it on Forest River stuff, though. Room for 2 batteries if you're so inclined. Battery disconnect to keep the battery from getting drained while it's in storage. And a couple things here. We're going to change things up. I'm going to switch up my normal order of operations. Let's get down here. And I don't mean dancing, because if you ever saw me on Dancing with the Stars, I would be one of those guys that everybody's laughing at him, but I'm not trying to make them laugh. You know what I mean? That's just not a skill that I have. Anyway, we have the enclosed heated accessibility, which is one of those silly words like my nerdisms that I just absolutely love. Those panels are sectionalized. You may have actually noticed where one of those overlapping seams is located, where if you need to have some service work done, they can more easily be dropped in a sectional manner and not have to drop the entire underbelly. And then when it's all done, there's really no signature that any work was ever done in there. Now, this does have a full pass-through, which is great. I will acknowledge the fact that not both baggage doors are created equally. That one is not quite as big, well, not even nearly as big as the one over here on the door side, which is 2 or 3 times larger. That is the back side of the laundry hamper, though. And again, that's what's kind of cool about this, is when you get back home, you can open the baggage door, grab the laundry, and start getting laundry done, and, I tell you, I feel very fortunate my wife takes on the lion's share of that work, and every time we go on a trip, when we come back, she's just like, oh, sometimes I wish we hadn't left. So, thank you, hon. I appreciate all the work you do. You are the best. I will never get that lucky to find a woman like that again. She's amazing. Anyway, dry erase board on this baggage door. That is another one of those 22 updates. And again, it's a small thing, but I start thinking about every camping trip I've gone on, and whether we're playing games outside or something like that, frankly, I could just sit there with a dry erase marker, play, Hangman or something with my daughter while we're outside playing games. I don't know. Whatever it is, I can always see myself using that, even though it seems like such a, really? A dry erase board? I don't know. I could really get down with that. It makes sense to me. They put a pretty good patio awning on this, but what I really like about it is how it obviously, clearly encompasses the main entry door. So on a rainy day, when the entry door is right next to an awning arm, you constantly get spritzed in the face. It's just, I don't know what it is about rainy day water. It goes straight for your face. And I don't know the science behind it. It's kind of like, it doesn't matter where you sit around a campfire. Do you guys have that superpower where campfire smoke follows you no matter where you sit? I don't know the science behind it. I just know it's like some kind of crazy Wiccan voodoo magic, and it's true. I'm not gonna ask why. And again, I've acknowledged that there is a lack
of windows in the entry doors, but at least in the bathroom, it does give you good privacy. One of my personal pet peeves are the manufacturers who put a full viewing window in a bathroom door and then no shade for privacy. So in the evening hours when you're sitting there in all your glory, doing what you got to do, people can see through the window because it's backlit, and there you are. There's your head doing your business, you know, looking at Earl the neighbor. Big camp kitchen on this, but did you notice? This is a cool thing Wildwood does here. The grill is bumper mounted and swings around. Now, you don't even have to have it this close to the RV. And by the way, these do not, it's not like a Blackstone griddle. These do not put off enough heat for that to be an issue. But if that does concern you, one of the things that's really kind of cool about this is if you notice the little radial dial kind of system here, you can pull that pin, you can mount it somewhere else if you want to. So you can kind of control the angle of that a little bit. I kind of like it right over by the camp kitchen. You could move it how you please. How would you mount that thing? I guess I'm kind of curious. But what that does is instead of like trying to fight counter space for a cooktop or something like that, it just allows them to have the big fridge. This is all galvanized rolled steel countertop out here, by the way, so it's going to be very good against moisture exposure. A real sink with a drain into a holding tank, and then just solid counter space over here. You could bring out a little microwave, a little ice maker, a little blender, maybe you're having a little margarita day, something like that. More tote storage, and you can see we are set for a TV out here. I actually kind of like their little display thing because it tells you what size TV you could stuff in different areas. So out here on a camp kitchen, it looks like you could actually maintain a 40-inch TV. And in case you're curious, the headroom under that is absolutely not an issue. If my goofy face can hang out under that thing, chances are you're going to be able to fit as well. Now, construction. We've got a fully walkable roof, 3/8 roof decking, 16-inch on center roof and wall studs. The rear wall is prepped and backed for a ladder. They don't offer a ladder from Wildwood. That is stuff that we can assist you with here, thankfully. And the floor is 5/8 tongue and groove plywood with 12-inch on average studs. Now, the general stick-built construction of this is very, very similar to like a Cherokee, a Wildwood, a J-Flight. Most stick and tin trailers are built in a very similar fashion. It really isn't the playbook that makes the difference on this one. It truly is like the execution. Which I'm pretty proud of the fact that I just got that out, considering I'm not much of a sporter, but that sounds like something that you might hear like a football coach say. I don't know. I think I nailed that one. Yay, Wildwood, go sports! By the way, in case you're curious, I don't know that I've ever taken the time to close things up for like outside road mode on one of these before. But, I mean, you get the idea. The camp kitchen goes away, but the bumper over here, the grill, you may not have realized, you don't have to take it off. It actually goes down the road like this, and so that you know it's not going to jiggle bang and, you know, rattle all over the place when you're going down the road, it actually locks in place over there with that exact same little, you know, kind of cotter pin thing that locks it in place when it's swung around. Now that we've got that all out of the way, it occurs to me something else that we haven't talked about, which is actually one of my personal very favorite things on Wildwood travel trailers. Right over here next to the propane cooker hooker, we have the Strongarm stabilizer jacks. And, well, the Strongarm jack leg stabilizers. Once again, I can't seem to say things in the correct order today. I'm talking weirdly like Yoda for some reason. Anyway, these are on both the front and rear jacks, and if you've never used these, it's one of those things you don't realize how much your trailer is moving around. If you've been in a trailer that has these, walk around and feel how solid it is, and then loosen them up and start walking around again, and the whole floor feels like if you're walking on like a raft. You guys ever walk on a raft when you're on the water and it's like sliding all around under you? That's like the kind of severity and the difference that you feel with those things. They are absolutely phenomenal, and they're one of the reasons I actually credit Wildwood with having what I call the best in class stability at a campsite. And on a big trailer like this with all kinds of little kids moving around inside, it's kind of nice for sure. So let me know what you think about this one. Would it be the right one for you? And what do you like about it? Or if not, why not? What would you like to see different?
and I can scan through our inventory. Maybe we have another option that could work for you. That's one of the nice things about us having so many different brands here at one location. There's usually, you know, it's kind of like you go to the big box store of your choice, Walmart or whatever, and they got like 6 types of vanilla ice cream. Sometimes you just like Breyer's better than Blue Bunny or whatever. You get the idea. What is your favorite ice cream? Because now I'm in an ice cream mood. Ben & Jerry's. I tell you what, the Tonight Dough by Ben & Jerry's, that is a hard one for me to beat, personally, or to beat for me. You know what I mean, right? It doesn't, okay, the order of the words doesn't matter. You got the meaning. Okay, moving on. Sorry, squirrel moments. I have a lot of those. If you'd like more information on this, I will leave you a link in the video description. Whether you're curious or whether you're serious, you can either check current pricing or at least last known MSRP. Drop me comments with questions you have or comments that you like about this thing. And if you haven't done so, please take a moment to hit the like button. It doesn't cost you nothing, but it does help this video spread around out there. And we'd love to have you on the next one, so do take a second to hit that subscribe button as well. And as always, take care, stay safe, have fun, and remember, we don't do hidden dealer fees, everyone.